Good morning, welcome to CATEX TV. My name is Frank Fortunato. Today is Monday, December 9th, 2013. If you're listening to this on the radio and wish to watch it, please go to www.catex.com. The Australian insurer QBE is in trouble. It has seen its shares lose about 20% of its value today on the Sydney stock market. This is after they warned that they're going to sink into the red in 2013 because of heavy reserve charges, goodwill write-downs, and restructuring costs at its troubled North American unit. QBE is on course for a 2013 net loss of $250 million, down from a net profit of about $761 million last year. That's about $1 billion swing. The projected deficit results are from a $470 million reserve charge for the second half, including $300 million related to its North American business. They have also replaced their chairperson, Belinda Hutchinson, with Marty Becker, who's currently a non-executive director. And they also have apparently let go Michael Scala, the president of its property casualty business in the U.S. Mr. Scala has been, quote, let go by the Australian insurer after nearly 20 years with the company. We're watching this closely. Of course, QBE grew very quickly over the last 10 years under Frank O'Halloran, so there are a lot of questions circulating now as to whether it was too fast and well enough planned. I think on general you'd have to say that it has been, but this is rather troubling news. In the United States today, on the East Coast, that winter storm that hit Texas in the middle of last week finally struck the northeastern part of the country yesterday. Philadelphia was hit by about 8 inches of snow. It traveled into the Northeast today, into the New York area and the Washington, D.C. area. The federal government had a 2-hour delay in opening. Thousands of flights have been canceled at Newark Airport, Kennedy, Philadelphia, etc. And as of today, right now, there are still about 2-hour delays at the major airports. In Kiev, capital of the Ukraine, the situation seems to be even more tense. According to Al Jazeera, a column of police buses with heavily armed riot troops are heading toward Kiev. Opposition activists yesterday toppled a statue of Vladimir Lenin. What that's still doing there is beyond me, but they're upset at the president of Ukraine's plan to scuttle the EU application to become a member of the common market and instead align themselves with Moscow in an economic pact with the Russians. The Russians apparently are so alarmed at the strife going on their southern border that they have suggested that talks begin immediately and that any planned signing of an economic pact between Russia and the Ukraine be put off. The pro-Russian Ukraine president has finally gotten the message apparently and has posted on his website just now that a roundtable with all parties involved can be a forum for mutual understanding. The situation there is very, very tense, and of course the Ukraine is a big supplier of natural gas into Europe, so the Europeans are watching that closely. Here's an unbelievable event in a country, Singapore, the city-state, where you can be arrested for chewing gum and for spitting on the sidewalk. There was a riot last night. 18 people were injured. The Philippine authority, or the Singaporean authorities, sent in an elite special operations command into an area known as Little India and arrested some 27 people after 18 people were injured, including policemen. This all happened after a immigrant from India apparently was killed by a private bus in some sort of a car accident. And the Singaporeans, of course, are very concerned, appropriately so, about the damage this can do to their image, with the rule of law being paramount there. In Jakarta, a little bit further to the south and to the west, 7 people died after a commuter train collided with a truck hauling fuel. This would be in the Indonesian capital. The explosion occurred this morning. It sent a fireball of orange flames. The accident killed the train engineer and at least 6 others. The truck was hauling liquefied petroleum gas, which is about as combustible as you can get. We've not really been following this story, but we picked it up today. About 6 years ago, actually it was a year ago, a plane crashed in northern Mexico, ending the life of Mexican-American singer Jenni Rivera. and 6 of her colleagues. Apparently some details have emerged now. The plane was a Learjet. It occurred on December 9, 2012. A year ago today, it plunged 28,000 feet into the mountains of northern Mexico. Well, in information released last week by the Mexican Aviation Agency, it's now developed that the 78-year-old pilot, of the Learjet, was too old to have obtained a pilot's license, and the Learjet itself was 43 years old and was flying unevenly and shaking when it reached cruising speed. According to the investigative report, the plane's owners neglected to report problems with the plane's operation before the flight. This is all coming out as a result of a suit brought by Ms. Rivera's estate against Starwood Management, the company that owned the plane. You can be sure that news like this is not going to help their case. That's the news for today. If we have any breaking news, we'll come back and tell you. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow.